So in a move that has made not only me, but a lot of people on the internet kind of roll their eyes, this headline came across my desk the other day. Microsoft launches Vibe Working in Excel and Word, which, like, as far as I had understood it, vibe coding became a sort of derogatory term. So it's funny to see it being embraced. And Microsoft isn't the only one embracing the vibe term. We'll get into that later with Meta's new Vibes app. But this is basically just them bringing AI tools into the Office suite for the first time.
Right.
And it's less promising than you'd hope, because I had thought that this would be an area in which AI would be extremely useful in terms of like Office productivity apps, pushing text around, reformatting things.
Yep.
But the initial results are not all that promising. So I've got an article that we're looking at here from The Verge. It opens with this. You've probably heard of vibe coding, novices writing apps by creating a simple AI prompt. But now Microsoft wants to introduce a similar thing for its Office apps. The software maker is launching a new agent mode in Excel and Word that can generate complex spreadsheets and documents with just a prompt. A new Office agent in Copilot Chat powered by Anthropic models is also launching that can create PowerPoint presentations and Word documents from a vibe working chatbot. It seems like the implementation of this is very similar to like Copilot in VS Code and whatnot, where you get that sidebar. I don't have this yet, Perry. Have you had this pop up for you in Excel?
No, see, I don't use a lot of the Office stuff. So no, I've not. And I believe that would probably have to be turned on by whatever, like if you're working at a company, if somebody manages the Microsoft implementation there, they would have to explicitly turn that on. So
interesting.
It shouldn't be hoist upon anybody that's not ready for it, because some companies are going to say, we don't trust that yet.
Yeah, and actually they mentioned in this article, too, that they have been kind of cautious about this because Microsoft Office powers very important documents and things in very important places. Also, ironically, I think I have Microsoft Office. I think I'm on your family plan, Perry.
So, you may be. Yeah, we had some extra seats. So
yeah.
There you go.
We'll have to see if there's a toggle for that to give it a shot, because the purported accuracy of this is pretty disappointing. Microsoft says its agent mode in Excel has an accuracy rate of 57.2% in Spreadsheet Bench, which is a benchmark for evaluating an AI model's ability to edit real-world spreadsheets, which places agent mode above Shortcut.ai, which is a ChatGPT agent that can do Excel stuff as well, and Claude Files Opus 4.1, but it's still behind the human accuracy of 71.3%, though, which I wonder how that accuracy number was found for humans. I'm not extremely familiar with Spreadsheet Bench, but but the thing about applying an average like this in the first place is that like me making a spreadsheet, my accuracy is not going to be that high because I'm not doing Excel for an important company, whereas someone who is probably closer to 99% accurate.
Yeah, somebody that lives in Excel and is constantly doing like pivot tables and stuff in it and creating complex formulas, they're probably better than 70 some odd percent.
And so this is 57.2. So. Yeah, I would hope so too. Actually, tiny sidebar. Perry, are you aware that there is Excel esports?
No.
Really? So
but I want to see it now.
It's actually pretty compelling. People do these challenges and they compete in Excel to achieve goals faster than everyone else. And it's actually pretty freaking cool.
Okay.
But that's not related to this, although maybe, hey, we'll see some AI competitors in that scene in the near future, or people using AI in that scene. That could be a whole different segment. So agent mode is not something I have had a chance to play with personally. Like you said, Perry, it's not foisted on everybody yet. They say that Microsoft's taken a gradual approach to adding AI elements to Excel, particularly because the data it handles powers some of the most important parts of business worldwide. But a representative for them says that agent mode lets you build sheets that are auditable, refreshable, and verifiable. We've spent a ton of time making sure the validation loop on all these sub-agents is pretty tight. Still, again, though, that glaring 57.2%. They said that agent mode in Word goes beyond the existing writing, rewrite, and summarization AI features that are in Word, saying that agent mode in Word turns document creation into vibe writing, an interactive conversational experience. No. So you basically just have an AI chatbot in the sidebar, and then it can edit the document you're in. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I think that companies should be happier to start with using Word, though you start to wonder like if the authenticity of the seeming authenticity of text, like the humanness of the writing, is going to start to wane over time as people rely on that over and over and over. Yeah, I think there's going to be some backlashes on the writing stuff. I think the thing that people really want AI to help with is like the mundane stuff like Excel, because that's where you really want a lot of critical oversight. You really want to get stuff right. You're thinking about precision, and that's where a technology-based tooling should be able to help a lot, right? Because Excel isn't about human creativity. It's about precision versus something like Word, which should be, if you're in the legal industry, should be about precision. But in many other industries, it's about like, there's a creative flair that the human behind the keyboard brings to it. And they've got the inverse of that right. AI is quote unquote good at a lot of the creative stuff, but that 57-ish% on the stuff that needs to be technically accurate, dependable, and bulletproof that's just over a coin flip accuracy.
And that's not great.
If your CFO, if your company's like reporting numbers to Wall Street every quarter, and then they find out that the AI screwed up the formula in your spreadsheet, then everything becomes a liability in that company.
Yeah, completely. Because you're right. Like the ideal thing would be to have something that can automate, like you've put together a spreadsheet and then you say, hey, look over this, make sure I didn't miss anything obvious or mess anything up. And we're definitely not at that point yet. So it feels a bit premature to drop this into the Office suite. But again, it seems to be a slow rollout. I wonder if there's any other underlying reasons to why they would try and push this out with such a low accuracy. Because it's
Probably
not like
make it better, right? Like if we're all guinea pigs for the AI, then we train the AI. So that's been Google's approach with this for years, right? Is you put out the thing that tells you to eat rocks, and then it starts getting better.
That actually, that makes a lot of sense. Now that you say that, I feel dumb for not immediately thinking of that. But yeah, they're totally going to use user input and user interactions to help improve these services. I just hope that we don't see any massive failings resulting from early adoption of this.
Oh, we will. We're going to see some really, really embarrassed people.
Yeah.
And especially if they're not transparent about the fact that they used AI, and then you find out later that this catastrophic mistake was because of something that some junior analyst did in the accounting department, and then just got passed up and accepted by everybody because they didn't put critical review on it. It's not going to be good.
There is some language from the representatives here that is making me a little bit nervous, including this one quote that says, it's not just simple assistive short answers, but board-ready presentations or documents. It's work, quite frankly, that a first-year consultant would do delivered in minutes, which that seems a bit too much of a stretch. So get ready for some embarrassed people.
Yeah. Well, and one of the interesting things that's come up, and I've seen this, headlines like this for months now, but company after company is telling people internally, you have to learn how to use AI or else. And then some companies, like we talked about a few weeks ago, are basically saying AI is now doing the job of like half of this, mundane workforce, like call center employees. So Salesforce, I think, had 9,000. They let off between 4,000 and 5,000 of them because they don't need them anymore. But specifically on that first year consultant side, there was notice that Accenture gave a few days ago. I'll pull that up. And it says, Accenture bets big on AI with a warning to workers to reskill or exit.
Oh.
Accenture's made artificial intelligence its growth engine and a survival test for its workforce. In its full-year results for fiscal 2025, the global consultancy stated that AI has become a goldmine, but with a catch. Employees unable to adapt to the technology would be shown the door.
Yikes.
So that's it. Quote here, we're investing in upskilling our reinventors.
God. What in the LinkedIn lunatic sentence? We're investing in upskilling our reinventors. Good
reinventors, which is our primary strategy. But where reskilling is not viable, we are exiting people so we can get more of the skills we need.
I hate everything about that sentence.
That is very much consultant speak, right?
We are exiting
so
people.
Hopefully AI, hopefully AI will not encourage people to use consultant speak.
Yeah, yeah, I certainly hope not. That is alarming. That is a lot of people and a lot of people's jobs that are now on the line. And I guess they're saying learn how to use AI or leave, basically, which I guess
and I think it's coming down to productivity, right? It's because if Bob sitting right next to you has learned how to use some kind of tool that makes him twice as productive, then all of a sudden now you're a liability because Bob is making the same amount of money as you.
Right. And I mean, I guess on the one hand, they're not being replaced by AI. They're just being pushed to use it. So that's a slightly different thing. Still.
And it's better than being replaced, right? Because somebody says, we don't need you to do your job anymore because we have AI. That's AI taking your job. If you are refusing to adapt to the new world where tools make you faster and potentially better, hopefully at some point, then that is kind of you're stuck in your own culture. You're stuck in your own way, and you're refusing to be whatever your employer needs you to be at that time. So that becomes something that can be a little bit more justified, but at the same time, an employer that's making that kind of statement, and I'm sure Accenture is, so I don't want to, even though they're using horrible language in the way they phrase that stuff. If they're making statements like that, you can guarantee they're providing the education and support for somebody to come up to speed on it.
Right. And I mean, like, I guess a comparison that you could draw would be like if someone refused to learn how to use just a computer in general for general computing tasks.
Yeah.
Like at this stage in life, that's kind of something you can't do. You can't really get away with not knowing how to use a computer. But the difference is that these AI tools are not precise or reliable and introduce a lot of problems on their own. And so there's also that push to adopt has an ick to it.
Right. Well, they are going to get better. And so the hope would be that the workforce is adapted by the time the tools are better so that you don't then spend 2 years trying to deal with the fact that the future is already here. And, 10 startups have already gone farther faster than you have because you were waiting for the technology to be perfect.
That's true. The thing that I worry about is tech debt. I have a friend who works in a programming position for a really large company, and they were telling me about how they are being encouraged to use AI for a lot of their programming and coding tasks, and that, it has made a lot of them more productive. They said their best engineer is still their best engineer, their worst is still their worst, but they're accruing a lot of tech debt really fast in terms of...
That will happen.
Yeah, so... In our next segment, we're going to talk more about AI video and specifically about an AI actor. Is that right, Perry?
Yeah, AI actors are going to be all the rage from what I hear, or maybe cause significant rage. We'll see.
Stick around.